Hi crafty cuties, and welcome back to yet another craft with me. Today I'm going to show you how I made these little pockets here. I'm sure I did not invent this idea, but I came up with it in my head and I wanted to show you how I made them. I like this idea because it's super cute and there's a lot to it. However, it's so simple, easy to make, and you really don't need very many items. So I'm going to be starting with some little rectangles. These are just little papers, and these are really great because you can just go through your scrap bin and find some paper that you like. I really would suggest using double-sided paper because we are going to be folding down the two little spots here, so keep that in mind. And these are around 4 inches by 4.5, something like that, but you can honestly tailor that to what size you want. I just like the idea of using a rectangle. You are going to need some type of string or embroidery floss. You're going to need a little hole punch. If you don't have one, you can use like an awl or something to poke holes with. Scissors, glue, some brown ink if you want to distress, and a little bit of lace. You can also hang some little charms like this. So let's get in, guys. This is literally going to be the easiest thing you do all day, probably. Okay, so we're going to take our rectangle and simply cut a slit down the center here. I like to kind of fold mine here because, you know, I just want to keep it simple. Do a little fold there, and I'm going to be cutting probably 2.5 inches down. If you don't trust your ability to cut a straight line, you could use like a paper trimmer or something like that. Now that we have that, I am simply going to just kind of fold these down. Now if you want yours to be more of a circular fold, you could use like a pencil and kind of roll this around a pencil or something like that. I am never going for perfection, you guys kind of know that, so I'm just going to kind of fold this down until I get the desired look that I want. Now I'm going to be putting these in a junk journal, so I do want mine to be rather flat, but if you're doing this on a project where you can have more dimension, I think that it looks super cute to have these pieces rolled and just kind of left up, but I don't have that much space. Okay, so now I'm going to take my brown ink and just kind of go around the edges. I think that this brown ink really adds a lot, especially around the corners that we fold down. It's really just going to make that area pop. So I do like to really get in there and add ink around the edges of this part. Now there's really so much that you can do with this idea. I was thinking that this would be so cute with, you could use some little grommets for your holes. You could add little buttons holding these two pieces down. That would be really cute. I didn't feel that I needed, I just didn't want to add that to mine, to be honest. I didn't think that it kind of went with what I was doing. But now we're going to take our hole punch and make sure that you have your lines kind of creased so that you can see where your fold is when we pull these pieces up. Now what we're going to do is simply punch 4 holes along this fold line right here. So, oops. So just right along the fold line, you want them to be kind of on that fold so that they are there, but not too obvious. Now, of course, you can do whatever you want with yours. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go through and just make it as even as possible. One towards the top, and then just kind of go down like so. Now if you don't feel confident with just eyeballing this, you can absolutely measure how much room you have and figure out, you know, an even way to space them. So as you can see, like I'm just really not that concerned about it. It's really not going to show once we add our strings. So I'm going to do the same here, and if you want these to match exactly with your other side, then what you can do is fold. Of course, if you don't mind having your fold marks here. And you can just simply kind of copy this over here like so. I hope you guys can see that. There we go. and then just make sure to fold down on those areas. Okay, so now we are going to string our embroidery floss through, and I'm going to take, let's see, maybe like 12 inches, which is more than enough. Okay, now we're gonna thread this through here. So, I hope you guys can see, I'm going to thread from the outside to the inside. And if we could get that to focus, that would be lovely. Okay, and then we are going to just go across to the bottom on this side. Pull that through, and then pull this through so that it's even on both sides. And now what we are going to do is work on this side, and we are going to take our floss and just lace it up through here on the next one up on both sides. So take your floss over here, and now we're going to just loop it through, and it's a little hard with this embroidery floss because it separates, but just loop it through the next hole up. And then what we are going to do is cross these over, and so now we have this string kind of swap in places, and then we will go from the inside to the outside on the next one up. I'll loop this through, and then I'll give you guys a better, closer look. You can't really mess it. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of ways that you can lace these too. Okay, so you can see now, if we can focus again, that we have this cross, okay? And then now the last one, we are going to just go from the outside to the inside on the top hole. And if you want, you could add more holes if you want more of a crisscross look. And then do the same over here. I'm so sorry guys, my camera wants to focus on all of the things down here. Okay, there we go. And then you will be left with your strings on, I guess, the inside, or yeah. And so now what you can do is you can tie these in a bow. You can add a little charm if you would like, which I think I'll do. I just tied a little charm on the end, and then I'm going to just tie this into a bow. I probably should have actually added a little bit more for more room to do a bow, but that's all right. So keep that in mind. So I'm gonna tie that. However, I'm going to now take a little bit of glue and just put it on the corners here so that we can glue these down. And again, I think that buttons could look absolutely cute right here holding these two pieces down. So I'm just gonna let that dry for a moment, and I'll tie my bow. So now I'm going to add some lace behind each piece here that's folded down, just kind of peeking out. I thought that that looked really pretty. So if you can see here, there's the blue lace. I'm going to add white, and then we can go ahead and sew this onto our page to become a pocket. And of course, if you don't have a sewing machine, I would just add adhesive around the three sides here. So let's go ahead. I picked this lace because I thought it would be really pretty peeking through, and I will cut two pieces here, and then we can glue on the back here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue my lace back here, and I just want it peeking out. So there we go. Now we have the lace, and now it's time to go ahead and adhere this down to our page. And like I said, I'm going to sew this down. I like to use a cross stitch with some colored thread. Now just go all the way around. And there we go, guys. These make the perfect little tuck spot for a tag or something special. I hope that you guys will try these pockets. Let me know if you do, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.